from mum and dad.
Again.
And are therefore at risk of being dumped from the island tonight.
Hey you guys, welcome back to Romance Review TV with Lady T, and I got another recap video for you guys. Love Island UK Season 8 Episode 56, and we are winding down ever so close to the finale. The families come into the villa today and it get a little dicey at the end at the final dumping. So before we kind of unpack all of this, if you are new here, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to that channel. Also, don't forget to drop a comment, and also don't forget to like and share. So without further ado, let's talk about what's going on. So as you guys remember, the Islanders had to vote for the least compatible of the other Islanders in the villa. Atkins Sue and Davide got 4 votes. Gemma and Luca got 3 votes. And then, of course, Adam and Paige got 2 votes. And then Tasha and Andrew got 1 vote. And finally, the couple who got 0 votes, who are also safe, is India and Dami. So now we're in this episode. The next morning, everybody woke up pretty much in a good mood. I had to kind of have some conversation around what has happened last night with this whole voting situation. Gemma tried to do a little sneak prank on her. I thought that was cute with her in India. But, you know, they were pretty much talking about how, you know, everybody felt. They trying to make sure that there was no hard feelings. But I know it's got to be in the back of their mind, like, really, you think that we're not compatible? Why would you think that? But anywho, we'll talk about that later. So now the families come in, which means that each of those that are in a couple get to meet the families of their partners. And the first set of families that come in is Tasha and Andrew. Now, of course, she was excited. I mean, they've been locked down in this bubble for 2 months and hadn't had any contact with the outside world, right? So, of course, a lot of them are going to be excited, emotional, and all of the above. So I'm going to get that out the way. But I will kind of give some highlights of some of the conversations that was had. Now, this particular conversation, I was wondering what to expect from Andrew's parents, especially when it came to Tasha from the beginning of the season. But pretty much they seemed like they said pretty much after everything with getting toward the end of the season, they were pretty much okay with the two of them. They were happy that they're building a connection. They were also happy that he was happy. They did say, however, that, and I think both parents said that, especially with Tasha, that it seems like Tosh was not as into Andrew as Andrew was into her. And that is absolutely correct. So they definitely caught that early on. But I guess because the romance was a slow burn, we all know Tasha finally, you know, found that deeper connection with Andrew. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with these two on the outside, you know. But they even asked Andrew, his family, whether or not he would marry Tasha. And he actually said not right now, but probably down the road. So we will see. I'm wondering if they're going to get past the next few months, you know, because the real test is when they get back home. So next in is Paige and Adam's family members. Now, Paige's mom, she's not buying it. She obviously know the history of Adam Collard from season 4. And she was like, you didn't know who he was? And she was like, no, and I want to make my own thought process on him and make my own decision. The girls tried to tell me. Mom is not sold on Adam. She's not feeling him. She don't think it is genuine with him. Now, I tend to think a little otherwise. I mean, from what we've seen, maybe it's because of the connection that they have that Adam has now melted for Paige. On the flip side, Adam's dad, oh yeah, he's fine. He's like, oh yeah, Paige, you got it. That's a good one. You good? Are you happy? I'm happy. We all happy. So, no big surprise there, but it was very interesting how vocal Paige's mom was with this whole thing. So, they finally got a chance to sit down and have a conversation. I gotta say, I'm wondering I think that's Paige's dad. He didn't say much at all. I don't think he's really feeling Adam. I guess he got to see for himself out in the real world. I think we all want to see out in the real world because they've only had such a limited time together after the whole Jocks thing. And even her mom was like, you were a different person with Jocks. But Paige was like, nah, I'm good on that. That was a lot that was going on with that situation, which we all know. So now it's Dami's turn. Now his family, and I think that was his sisters, they couldn't be at the villa because the one with the red on, she actually had tested positive for COVID. So she couldn't be there, so they had to be on video chat. But he got a grilling. So much so that Dami was wondering whether or not they were on his side versus India's side. And, he kind of came back with this whole response like, well, wait a minute, she came back from Casa with a whole dude. And they was like, yeah, but she was respectful, you wasn't. And he claimed, well, I only kissed the girl, and why did you do it? Well, I wanted to get the full experience of the process, which I hear a lot of guys say that throughout the different series. So I find that pretty interesting. Whereas the girls, they tend to kind of, if there's a guy that they like or they have, they tend to try not to cross that boundary. Because she didn't even kiss Deji, which they brought up too. But they were definitely happy to see India. They're looking forward to having her over. I think his sister said that his mom absolutely loves India. And they officially boyfriend and girlfriend, which they're happy about. So, I mean, after that grilling that they gave Dami, it's not over yet because he think that was a grilling. Yeah, let's just see what India's mom and her sister had to say. So, and I think that, her mom and sister. Yeah, well... It was finally his turn to have a conversation with her family, and they raked him through the coals. He had to come in saying first, let me just say I'm sorry. And they like, what you sorry for? Well, Casa Amor. Well, why are you sorry at Casa Amor? And so you can tell by her face, they weren't happy about Casa. They weren't happy. The only thing is that that's kind of the fine line that you have when you join this show. Yes, you cannot be tempted, or you can dive into the full experience to kind of see if this is truly your person if you choose to be with somebody else and you realize that they aren't or they are not. But that didn't sit well with India because India, the facial responses that we could see on her face, it was like, oh my God, go easy on him, please. I mean, we've made progress. And I don't know if you got a chance to listen to Murad Morales' response on one of his videos yesterday. He has totally changed his mind about the Dami India coupling and the strides and the work that he put in since Casa. And so whether or not India's family, sees this, he's going to have a lot to prove when he come out that villa. They're going to be watching him like a microscope. And, India was like, hey, I'm happy. And so they was like, well, if you're happy, we're happy. So, yeah, he should have known it was coming. He probably got a lot coming when he look at his social medias once all this is over later this week. But we'll see. So next up is Gemma and Luca family coming in. And one thing I gotta say, and she mentioned this in this particular episode, that her personality is more like her dad. She absolutely knows how to control her emotional responses. She's very straightforward. She's not emotionally inclined. And I gotta say, with those fish shoes, that was, I think, Luca's dad wearing the fish shoes. And he said that they're even selling outside on social media. So he's like, I don't care about you talking about my fish sandals. Hey, they making some money on the outside. But they miss their son, But I gotta say, Gemma, she is very poised, and it's probably because her family is in the public eye already, so she know how to handle media. But I really wanted to see some emotion, and she did. When she saw her mom, she was happy to see her. I was wondering if her dad was going to come on the show, but no, it was just her mom and her friend, I think that was. But yeah, I know that with Luca's mom is very happy. I mean, she's inviting all of the Islanders over for pasta, and they're pretty much happy about these two. So then we also have Atkins Sue and Davide's family. And I gotta say, this reunion was the most emotional one. I even shedded a couple of tears because that whole interaction between Davide and his mom, and she was like, oh, my sweet boy. Oh my God. I have a grown son, so I couldn't imagine being away from him for 2 months and then actually seeing him, especially not being able to talk to him, interact with him. So it kind of touched the heartstrings with me, but she was so emotional. And as for Atkinson brother, that man is hilarious. He came into the villa talking about, I'm the next bombshell. They should have had him on the show too. He would have been funny. I mean, Love Island USA has have a set of siblings. They could have had Atkinson and her brother. But they really like Davide. They did say that Atkinson looks like she's finally fallen in love with Davide. And, the way that she's blushing. But then when Davide was talking to his family, he brought up the fact that she's an actress. And then they was like, kind of repeating some of those things. I'm wondering, is there still a part of Davide that is still guarded when it comes to Atkinson? Now, that girl didn't put in some work. I got to give it to her because she did some crazy things when it came to Jay and Jocks and some of the other guys that she was interested in. And the guy that she wanted to keep a secret with, I think his name was George at Casa. So she had a lot to make up for. But at the end, she seems like she fell in love. And they saw the date. And they were pretty much happy for them. But I got to say, that was the most emotional interaction with the families I saw. So now it's later. Everybody is pretty much toasting the night. It was a pretty strenuous day. Then a text message come in asking all of the Islanders to gather around the fire pit. And we all know what this was about to be. So pretty much the voting from the Islanders came in, but also there was voting that came in from the public. Atkins Sue Davide, Luca, Gemma, Tasha and Andrew, and Adam and Paige were, of course, in the bottom four, but they didn't know that. And of course, Dami and India is safe, which shocked the rest of them because they was like, well, wait a minute, who voted for who, especially with the number of votes, which that's got people thinking. We're going to get to something later. But the first couple that was saved by the public was Atkins Sue and Davide. Gemma and Luca was also saved. And he talking about it's going to be some fun tonight, which means he's about to pop off. And then there was two left. Paige and Adam was dumped from the island. And then who was saved was Andrew and Tasha. So, they end up saying that their goodbyes. It was no surprise to me because of the fact that Adam had been in there such a short time and everybody else has pretty much been there from day one. So it wasn't a big surprise. I think I said this on Friday. Now where it gets a little dicey is because Luca is fuming because of the fact that him and Gemma got 3 votes from the other Islanders, which Dami is supposed to be his close friend, which didn't set well with Luca. And, he was like, well, wait a minute. You always telling us that, we're compatible and we like what we see. And then you had to vote. You give me one of the votes. I don't understand that. So now they had a conversation with both Dami and India. And I got to give it to India and Dami because Dami let India handle that. And she was straightforward, like, look, I know Gemma and I know how you overreact. Just like what happened in the challenge. And we know there's not going to be any challenges like what we did in here on the outside. But they could be way worse. What if she want to sign a picture or something and you get mad or you get jealous? And one thing I will say is that Gemma didn't say too much of nothing because she knows exactly what Dami and India are talking about. And all I could do is sit there and like hold my mouth like, she didn't speak up that much at all because that was one of the things that was frustrating. And when they walked off, Dami and India also said, you notice Gemma didn't say anything? That's because she knows exactly what we're talking about. So Gemma needed to kind of talk him off the ledge of being overreacted, right? So he's like, I can't believe they did that. Why do you think they did that? And she was like, it really don't matter. We're together. It is what it is. Let's just keep it moving. Keep positive vibes. We know what we got. And that's it. And he was like, well, that's why I love you. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But she can't keep doing that all the time. He got to kind of realize and manage his situations and how he responds to things. So we'll see what happened. So they finally got the final announcement that they have made it in the final four for Love Island UK 2022. And they are so excited. And we have the finale tomorrow. So, who do you think is going to win Love Island Season 8 UK 2022? I'm going to put a community poll in my channel, so go over there and check that out. I know a lot of us outside of the UK cannot vote because the public is voting all the way up to 8:45 their time tomorrow night. Right, and I guess that's right before the show starts. So, yeah, I'm curious to find out what you think. Who you think going to win the big prize of the $50,000? I'm going to put the poll up. Let me know what you think. And until the next video, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And please don't forget to like and share. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.